Hey, Dawns ARKS! Welcome everyone to your Phantasy Star podcast recorded live on October 1st, 2024. I am one of your hosts, PrinceBrightstar, and with me here is Rooks. Go ahead and say hello.
Good morning to all the ARKs out there.
So, we've got another month passing us by here. We've gotten some detail in terms of what's going to be coming with the first patch of the month tomorrow, since it was already put up on the NGS website. But aside from that, we've also got some other stuff we're going to be taking a look at here. Nothing out of Affinia this time, but Clementine did announce its 4th anniversary event, which I believe is going on at this point here. We're also going to be taking a look at some of the work-in-progress stuff that's been put out for Sonic Roboblast 2 Infinity, if some of you happen to remember what that game was last year. And then, after that, we've also got, we're going to be taking a look at some of the jobs that have been coming out of Sega's second business division. And there's a reason for that, which we'll get into later. But Rooks, what are you expecting from today's headline?
Judging by some of the patch notes, I am expecting a dual quest involving a starless version of one of the Stia bosses, not the monkey one. The Magister, you know, the one that has the double heads.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah, it's we're basically, my understanding is we're supposed to be getting the level cap raised to 95 based on the roadmap. Usually that happens fairly early on when a patch like this happens, plus we're getting a new high rank for Stia as well. It's just a question of, okay, how many limited time quests are we getting, say, next week versus the rest of the month, and things like that. And then, you know, because that roadmap, at least for this section of the year, was for October to November. So, yeah, we'll see what's coming with all that here. Aside from that, the other thing is that they were talking about there being some sort of a second Idola NGS collab. So I'd expect that to happen more in like the second half of the month. And it's a real question of why they're still pushing Idola at this point. Considering, you know, Idola has been over for about 2 years now. And then, go ahead.
Well, they probably had it prepped and just have to release it now. And there are Idola fans out there. We know one in our server, by the way.
That's true. And then there's the whole... there was no announcement about this for Global, at least... or maybe there was, and I just missed it. But there was the 12-hour stream. But as far as I could tell, there really wasn't much that happened that actually happened in that thing in terms of like major announcements. They did take some time to go over like the old roadmap, or rather all the updates that happened from the launch of base PSO2 up until now. But aside from that, I don't remember there being too much else that really happened in that, aside from like some line strike stuff and them visiting player housing and such.
They previewed the new faces that are going to be shown here as well.
Okay.
It's basically they're the new anime faces, and I'm not 100% sure whether or not they are exclusive to the cell shading effect.
Gotcha. Well, I guess we'll see how this shakes out here today. I do remember them also putting out a separate video of that. So yeah, that did also happen during the 12-hour stream. Looks like their stream has just gone live here, so they should be getting going here any second here. Anything else you want to predict before they get started here?
Only that they hopefully subvert our expectations and actually include some story. And
that would be nice.
People on both sides have been demanding it. And we haven't been getting it, and I'm wondering what the reason is for that. And here we go.
Yep, here we go.
Welcome back, everybody, to NGS Headline.
Hello, everyone. It's 9 p.m. So let's get started with NGS Headline. I am Hiro Arai, the official navigator of NGS, and I will be the MC for this program. I will be bringing you the latest info on NGS. It's hard to believe it's already October.
Starting right off with
it.
it.
Take care not
Yeah,
to
that's
catch
for
a
certain
cold
here.
as the temperatures change. The new face options I mentioned in the last operations report are coming this month. These match really well with the cell shading feature, which gives your character an anime look. Reach new heights in character
Maybe they
creation
aren't
and
exclusive
make your
to
character
cell
truly
shading.
unique.
Yeah, but it seems like they're giving at least a recommendation to do it with the
Now,
cell
once
shading.
again, this program is to inform players about the current operation and upcoming updates of Sega's online RPG, PSO2NGSv2, also known as NGS. We will also share details about exciting campaigns, peripheral information, and discuss the present and future of NGS for our players. This is a pre-recorded broadcast. If you would like to watch it in Japanese, you can check it out on the Japanese NGS YouTube channel. Without further ado, let's move on to the updates you've all been waiting for.
NGS Hot Information.
In this episode, we would like to share some information about the October updates. Let's start with a video.
I'd expect the main Halloween stuff to happen towards the end of the month.
Quite possibly.
Yep, there's the STIA update. Oh, they changed the
Okay,
terrain.
cool. Wait, were they holding off on this for us?
Maybe? Like this kind of feels like the stuff that popped up in Retem after the Starless showed up. Okay, so that's talking about the whole upgrade process there, and new level cap. So I'm sure a whole bunch of players held on to their 100 million experience tickets so they can just get right up there.
I might still hold on to mine just in case this isn't that difficult of a grind.
Yep, there's the new face options. Oh, okay, so they put that note about the camera zoom just being like a regular camera thing in the patch notes. So that's disappointing. That's only in where you create your
Multi-weapon
character.
stuff, yeah. They have multi-weapon tools here. Stuff here that makes it so you don't need to get a second weapon out of series to multi-weapon. Finally
Alright.
added water.
Yep, finally
forever.
water. Okay, they're bringing over more NGS spec costumes from PSO2. Interesting antlers there. Pterodactyl, that's like how I feel with the story right now. Okay, so they're actually starting it even before the halfway mark.
They might not have anything else to fill the month with.
Yeah, last year they brought in somebody to work on the quest, but I don't know what they're doing this year. Oh, okay, so they're doing a second one of it then.
Well, this was one of the fun ones, so...
Yep.
Gonna have to keep an eye on the player count to see if people actually take notice.
Yeah. New special scratch. Yeah, messaging. I noticed that as well. They brought some trees in.
Well, one of the biggest complaints people have with the quest is that basically they way overuse the virtualized structures and such. It's kind of unpleasant, really. And adds to the boredom players that develop very quickly. That's kind of cool. Someone can RP as Estinian now.
Yeah. Still waiting for new cast parts.
Anything catch your eye? Let me go through the details with these slides. Starting with this. Starting October 2nd, there will be major changes in the Stia region exploration sector, Mediola Outer Area 1. Floating islands appear in mid-air, land rises in the lava fields, and the enemies that appear are level 95 or higher, with nearly all of them morphed into their Megalotics versions. The trials that activate here have side missions. Each time a side mission is completed a certain number of times, it triggers a special trial in which a Gigantix Vardius or Ruin Angel appears.
So more
We're also
consistent
adding a title
Gigantix
task
farming
that
then.
can be completed by defeating Ruin Angel. Complete this task to earn an N Augment Transfer Pass voucher. Also, keep an eye out for our new rare trials, including a trial with Recon Gigants and a co-op trial where you get a partial Mars battery charge-up upon completion. Additional updrafters and skylifters have been placed to fit the terrain changes, as well as a new object called Comfort Lily. Comfort Lilies explode after receiving a certain amount of damage, damaging enemies and inflicting elemental down over a wide area. It also restores the HP of players in the vicinity for a certain period of time after the explosion.
And it sounds
And
like the stuff
generates
in
an
Resolve
effect that
Forest.
nullifies damage from lava. Make good
Combination
use of
of
these
the
objects as you fight your way
stuff
through
from
the
Resolve
area.
Forest and the stuff and the torches from
Moreover,
Wraith Ford Gorge.
I just
along
lost
with
the
this
stream.
update
Oh,
to
there
the
it is.
Stia region, you'll also be able to upgrade the 11-star rarity Excelio weapon series. You'll be able to upgrade to more powerful equipment at the exchange shop via the newly added equipment upgrade, Augment Transfer, without changing the enhancement level or augments. The items needed to upgrade can be obtained by defeating the enemies at level 95 or higher that appear in Mediola Outer Area 1. We'll also be adding a limited time task that you can complete by upgrading your equipment. Complete the task to earn an N Augment Transfer Pass voucher. Next, let me tell you about our class update for Tectors. In addition to making adjustments to the potency of wands as well as how certain actions behave, the effects will be completely redone, and a new class skill will be added. Along with this, the level cap for all classes will be raised to 95, so get your level up and take on the new quests and enemies. In addition to the class updates, we'll have a variety of functional improvements and new gameplay elements coming online. First, we'll be adding the new Animatica face to the default face options in character creation and the salon. The shape of the eyes and the wide open mouth allow for even more anime-like expressions. It can be used for a wide range of faces, from exaggerated to sharp, so give it a try and see what you think. The salon will also have another step added to change camera distance, allowing you to fully zoom in on your character's face, which will be useful for making fine adjustments to eyes and other facial features. What's more, we'll be adding a new setting to the salon settings called Camera Settings when editing.
All this work on
lets
something
you
that
turn off
shouldn't be
automatic
this much
camera
of a
tracking
focus.
when swapping between edit head and edit body, and when selecting ornament display
Yeah,
settings.
it's obvious this is where they're
The
putting
number
their
of
effort into
accessory
at this
slots
point.
will also be expanded from 12 to 18, so you can add more accessories than ever before. Time to break out those Cost 1 accessories. A new Platinum ARKS ID background to honor ARKS with lots of titles will also make its debut.
We'll see
It
if I
requires
qualify for
even
that, I
more
guess.
title points than the gold background implemented in July, so you'll have to collect a ton if you hope to unlock it. This one is only for the true ARKS defenders out there. In addition, we'll be adding an option to the stamp submenu that lets you play any associated audio when you select a stamp in the personal shop's product list or the scratch ticket prize list. This can also be used before you buy a stamp, so be sure to check out the audio if you need help deciding which stamps you like best. Furthermore, we'll be adding the multi-weapon substitute special weapon series to the SG shop lineup. Normally, another weapon from the same series is required for multi-weaponization, but this series has the weapon connector augment, which allows it to be used in combination with a selected base weapon to create a multi-weapon. This will make it easier to create multi-weapons. So snap one up and customize your favorite weapon. You can enjoy swimming by diving into the water of BP water space. You can adjust the water current by rotating it or place it without any current set.
Curious how tall you can make that.
There are more awesome items joining the lineup, including the Evocoat series, food build parts such as donuts and takoyaki, etc. What's more, with this update, you'll be able to receive Genesis points just by getting close to the GP tree, without needing to access it. So
That's a
go
nice little
explore
addition.
A variety of creative spaces
Makes
to
you wonder
collect
why they
more
added
Genesis
it, though.
points. Furthermore, we're also adding limited time tasks where you can earn Genesis points. Take advantage of this opportunity to collect Genesis points and obtain new build parts. The SG Scratch Ticket will feature newly added items. Refined Form October 2024 includes NGS spec versions of Dominating Divinity and Yoshino Tephra from PSO2. Don't forget to also take a look at the Scratch Count bonus item, the emote Playing in Leaves. Mission Pass NGS Season 37 will also be released, in addition to stamps and accessories. The lineup includes valuable items such as personal shop use 3 days and SGS Scratch Ticket prize slips, similar to previous releases. Moreover, we're making adjustments to some of the lineup this time to increase the chances of receiving augment capsules more than before. Don't miss out on this chance to get the PSO2 unit accessory Well Aboard, the new accessories Nightmare Tie and Pilot Helmet, as well as a color variant version of the motion change item Motion Dash Cartwheel. It was not featured in the video, but we're also releasing Revival AC Scratch Ticket, Motion Revival October 2024. This ticket brings back motion change items previously released in NGS. Don't miss out on the Scratch Count bonus, which offers items to aid in weapon enhancement, such as Preset Skill Enhanced Success and Substitute Level 3. It also includes motion change items, such as Motion Swim, Surfing, and Motion Idle, Hand on Hip, too. The limited time event, Halloween 2024, rises up on October 9th. Soak up the Halloween vibes in NGS, with Central City transforming with spooky holiday decorations, Region Mags donning pumpkin-themed attire, and Reaper Rappy, Trick or Treat Emperor Rappy, and Trick or Treat Great Rappy haunting the fields. But our seasonal event navigator, Shiemi, won't be outshined in her Halloween dress.
I mean, it's kind of what we expect from a Halloween event at this point.
So see what she has to say. Shiemi's seasonal points exchange shop will be full of treats like Stamp Vox Howl, perfect for fall, BP Matsutake mushrooms, which evoke the taste of autumn, as well as SG, augment capsules helpful for dual quests, and more. You can also pick up Halloween 2024 SP Scratch Tickets. The lineup includes NEX cubes, as well as items for Tech Arts customization. You can also use them to draw from the special scratch available at the same time. This lineup will also be getting some adjustments. The 11-star rarity Excelia weapon series will have a 3 preset EX augments with plus 60 enhancement level, and the enhancement level cap set to plus 90. So this is a fantastic opportunity for all you ARKs.
I heard it
who
too.
Limited time tasks will be added as we kick off Halloween 2024. Complete these tasks.
Somewhere
to earn
Wolf is
TA
laughing at us.
Customization Disc
Yeah.
X, Omni, N Master Cube, and
Wolf
Armed
is a
Refiner
member of
2.
our Discord.
There will be additional title tasks too. So rise to the
Fantastic.
challenge
Something
to
or
earn
other.
new titles and N Augment Transfer Pass vouchers. The new limited-time urgent quest, Haunted Domain 2, will be available during Halloween 2024. The fields are completely revamped this year, featuring more seasonal ambience. In this quest, you'll face enemies known as aberrant mutants that take damage from specific element attacks.
I'm still hoping that they have multiple
Pick
configurations
up
of this place,
elemental
but
bullets
probably
scattered
not.
throughout the field to change the element setting of mobile cannon
You know, honestly,
ECS
I'm
accordingly.
still thankful
And
it's
head to
not
the
one of
final
the
area of the
unknown
quest.
areas again.
Dealing
That's
a certain
true,
amount
yeah.
of damage to the aberrant mutants will temporarily remove their special characteristic. Seize that moment to launch high-potency charged blasts at these enemies to take them down in one fell swoop. Next, we have a special scratch for this limited-time event, Halloween 2024 SP Scratch. Collect these exclusive scratch tickets to get spooktacular items like the weapon camo Blood Almaty and Hiro Arai Serpent. These scratch tickets are available at the Seasonal Points Exchange Shop as well as rewards for the limited time quest. Some items available from Halloween 2024 SP Scratch will be added to the regular special scratch lineup after the event ends, but it will be more difficult to get them. So if there's anything you're dying to get, be sure to grab it while you have the best odds. Additionally, familiar furnishings from PSO2, such as the Country and Fancy series, are coming to NGS as build parts. This means new combinations for you to try out, so get these build parts with SG and decorate your creative space or alliance space to the fullest. Furthermore, various avatar items
they're not
released in the
if they're not
past will be
showing us,
resurrected in the reward
Then they're
box.
probably embarrassed by
This
it.
time, the lineup focuses
Could
on
be,
items
yeah.
with a dark atmosphere perfect for the Halloween season. So don't miss these treats. Take on tasks to get reward box medals and aim to collect all the rewards. Also starting from October 9th, a new AC scratch ticket, Cheerful Sports Carnival, will come tumbling in. In addition to outfits perfect for autumn sports, such as cheerleader
I'll be honest, the
simple gym
two
clothes,
costumes on the left
there's
kind of
a
look like
plethora
they
of
belong in
ultra-rad
Owendon.
items lined up. We've got loosely wrapped bandages.
I'm
for
not
the
sure what
upper arms,
Owendon is.
It's what
missile-pod
Osu
style
eventually
accessories,
turned into.
and anime-style
Or
eyes
rather,
with
what
clear
it was the
contrast.
precursor to Osu.
That's not all. Check out the alternative versions of the motion.
Alternatively,
change
it
items
was
available
Elite
as
Beat
scratch
Agents
count bonuses,
in the West.
such as Lancer EX
okay.
Dash and Idol. Those were the updates for the first half of October. Now let's see what's coming in the second half of the month with this video.
So they kind of blew their load with the urgent quest. So let's see what else we got. Yeah, Rival Schools 2. New rank to Nuisance Plant. Okay. But is it just the same? PSC level will no longer drop from 4 to 3.
In other words, it sounds like once you hit 4, it stays at 4.
Yeah. But then, does that mean it's rarer to get to actually get it to pop? Oh, hello, new version.
Yes, this was what I was expecting to be the, Well, then again, these bosses always show up outside of dual quests.
Yep.
But I was not expecting it to be show up this early. And upgrades to the units. Now
Yep.
I feel a bit more confident upgrading my units.
Again, I'm not seeing any cast parts in here. Guess you can at least have some stone fists or something there. So you're making your character act like it's a giant when it's still the same size.
Yeah, but you know you can always just... There are massive casts out there that can reach proper size for that.
True. New rank to dex space as well. I wonder if they're gonna fix the whole Maceta farm there. And that's a new Starless, I think.
Yep. Oh, even as a cloud.
Yep. Which really makes me wonder where the Starless even are getting those ideas from. Because that's from Journey to the West.
At this point, I'm almost certain the Starless are created by the old arcs. And that's how they know about the old arcs.
Well, hopefully we'll get some sort of answer on it. Although at this point, who knows?
What did you think? Let's look at a summary of the updates with some slides. Starting October 16th, a new rank will be added to Nusen Plant, a combat sector in the Stia region. This means an increase in enemy levels.
I have
the
a hard time
appearance of
blaming
Starless,
Luther for this.
as well
I don't
as a new
think
Starless
this...
boss enemy, Chaos Saver.
Say again?
Chaos Saver
Oh,
unleashes
Vestigen
powerful
says I
attacks
blame Luther, and I'm
reminiscent
saying
of ice
thinking
and light
I'm having a hard time
techniques.
blaming Luther for
So
this.
be well prepared
Yeah,
before you
same
face
here.
it in battle.
This seems different.
Additionally, in this new rank for Nusen
It may have
Plant,
been. It may have
the
actually
PSE
come
level will
from
no longer
Earth.
drop
Actually,
from 4 to 3, extending the duration of PSE bursts compared to rank 1. Furthermore, a co-op trial will activate where a certain amount of your Mars battery will be charged upon completion. With the addition of the new rank, items necessary for upgrading the 10-star rarity Ectasis armor will be made available. There are multiple variations of the upgraded armor, so we recommend choosing the upgrade path that suits your playstyle. This update also introduces limited-time tasks related to the armor equipment upgrades along with title tasks for Nuisance Plant. Complete each task to earn the items you'll need to upgrade your equipment, as well as new weapon camo. Next on our update list is the new AC scratch ticket, Monster Masquerade 2024. Get into a frightfully fun mood this Halloween season with Black Cat themed wear, witch hats, gothic outfits and robes, and more. The small U-shaped eyebrows are perfect for those who like stylized character creation.
So I guess this means the
The
Idol
scratch
collab
bonus
is not happening
will
until
include
November.
Giant EX, an alternative version
Makes
of
sense.
the dash and move motion change items that are included in the scratch ticket prizes. Starting October 23rd, a new rank will also be added to the Dex-based combat sector of the Steer region. Not only will it bring an increase in enemy levels and the appearance of Starless, the PSE level will no longer drop from 4 to 3, just like the Nuisance Plant updates. There will also be a co-op trial, where a certain amount of your Mars battery is charged upon completion. Moreover, you will face a new Starless boss enemy known as Hanumad. This formidable foe boasts swift, relentless, close-range attacks, and its moves change significantly throughout the battle, so take care to avoid being overwhelmed. Furthermore, until November 6th, the Crimson Realm will alternate between Nuisance Plant and Dex Base. In sectors that transform into the Crimson Realm, the weather turns a menacing red, and Starless enemies get even stronger. But ferocious battles bring fabulous rewards, so it's best to actively take on the combat sector where the Crimson Realm is appearing. Trials that activate during the Crimson Realm have a chance to change over when completed, and trials may activate in succession. If you complete the side mission of a trial that's been changed over, the next PSE burst that occurs is guaranteed to be a PSE Burst Forte or a PSE Burst Encore. Work in cahoots with your comrades to pile up the loot. With the addition of the new rank in Dex Base, there will also be title tasks to challenge, while limited-time tasks will be added in conjunction with the appearance of the Crimson Realm. Complete these tasks to earn new titles, NEX cubes, and N augmentation success rate plus 20%. Although not in the video, there are also two kinds of scratch tickets coming on October 23rd. Accessory Revival October 2024 is bringing back accessories from the past.
You keep doing all these support item scratches.
Plus, you can get consumable items useful for enhancement, such as Grand Gladia Sol S from the scratch count bonus. SG Support Item Select October 2024 is also bringing back some extra fancy loot, including preservation items that return weapons or armor used as materials for enhancing preset skills if the process fails. Not to mention, Grand Dread Keeper 2S is available from the Scratch Count bonus. That concludes the update information for today. Moving on to the next segment.
NGS Operation Report.
Alright, let's see what the devs say this time.
For this segment, the NGS Operation Report, I, Hiro Arai, select questions and comments from players to bring to the development and live operation teams and bring you their answers. I also have a letter from the developers to share with you. We'll start with the letter from the developers. A message from the dev team to the players. Allow me to read it to you. We would like to thank all the ARKs out there for continuing to play NGS. Moving forward, we will provide information on the intended implementation of updates introduced in this program and our plans for future improvements in the form of a letter from the developers. First, we would like to introduce the update coming to you in October for the Steer Region Exploration Sector, Mediola Outer Area 1. We began revitalizing
I
less
appreciate
popular
this.
exploration sectors with
Yep.
the region updates announced for NGS version 2. In
There's
last
so much
year's
empty
region
space
update,
there.
we added the boss enemy, Tyrant Halvadi Vera, to Rua Makib, which was lacking in items and enemies for players to aim for. Then, for this year's Kavaris region update, we added torch stands to the Rajord Gorge, where the low temperature damage made it difficult for players to stay in that sector for long periods of time. Now, with the Steer region update this time, we wanted to
Well,
address
when the
lack
torches
of
worked,
combat
anyway.
elements with enemies aside from
Yeah,
recon
the torches
gigantes.
were fun when
Malevolent
they worked.
Vardius in Mediola Outer Area 1, where trials do not
I still got a
activate.
stack of those 100% resist tickets.
Therefore, we will not only add
I
trials,
do too.
but also side missions, a low probability of recon gigantes and dread enemies appearing, Megalotics versions of all enemies, the Gigantics version of Ruin Angel, and a whole lot more. These will provide a humongous boost to the combat elements available in this exploration sector. Updrafters and Skylifters will also be added to improve player movement, since the exploration sector is large and difficult to traverse. On top of that, you will also begin to receive Mars battery boosts after completing certain trials. If you haven't returned to Mediola Outer Area 1 in a while, we hope that you will after this update. And last, but certainly not least, we will provide more details on the upgrades that are finally coming to the 11-star Excelio weapon series and the 10-star Ectasis armor series. Items required for upgrading the 11-star Excelio weapon series will be available from early October, while the items needed for the 10-star Ectasis armor series will be available starting mid-October. The weapons obtained from the upgrade, the 11-star Duo Celio series, are even more powerful than the 11-star Wingguard weapon series. The 10-star Dostasis armor series, on the other hand, is unique in that you can choose the upgrade result.
Messaging, they are
Although the weapons and armor cannot be traded in to
they
the
are probably
personal
testing
shop
the
once
waters
they
here
have
to
been
see how this
upgraded.
is received.
If they are not upgraded, the equipment series can also be used as materials for preset skill enhancements and making multi-weapons. These series will be
I
available.
mean, like
to
I
be
said before,
upgraded
though,
further in the
we kind of
future.
got something like this in
And
Retema
our goal
already,
is
so
to
they kind of
ensure
already
that
did
they are
test the
usable
waters.
over a longer period of time. We'll have more info for you in the next NGS headline. That's all for the letter from the developers. Thank you for continuing to play NGS. That was their message. Continuing on to the next section, I'll have answers
Yeah,
from
at
the
this point it might
development
be
and live
too little,
operations
too late.
teams to player
Yeah.
questions and comments.
We'll see.
Here is the first one. There is more content now that supports all-ship matchmaking, but there are times when I am unable to receive Alliance chat messages when matchmaking is in progress. This makes communication between Alliance members difficult. Is it possible to have a log of these messages like how it is done for group chats? Here is their answer. In line with the implementation of all-ship matchmaking, we conducted a review of the chat function. At the time, we discovered a critical problem with data storage. As a result, we were unable to implement log updates for Alliance chat messages sent during matchmaking.
Huh.
Therefore, messages that were sent to the Alliance chat cannot be verified after matchmaking begins.
I'm surprised they're admitting to something like this.
That was their answer. We appreciate your understanding regarding this matter. Let's move on to the next question.
No promise of a fix, though?
Could the chat function be enabled while we are battling?
The source code
against
might not
an
be
NPC
possible,
in
and no
line
promise
strike?
of a fix might
We
be
can't
a
respond even
sign
if someone greets or
that
talks to us, which gives the impression
it
that
might
we
be a
are ignoring
sign
them.
that
Here is our team's response. We are aiming to enable the chat function for players who are engaging in a line strike match in an
it might be
upcoming
a
update for
sign
December.
that
We
of
appreciate your
something that
patience
I'm
in
going
the
to talk
meantime.
about after this.
That was what they
Okay.
had to say. Moving on to the next question. When riding or dismounting from Mars, the camera's zoom settings are reset, and it is inconvenient. Are there any plans to fix this? Here is our team's response. We plan to implement a fix for the camera's zoom settings to prevent them from resetting when players ride or dismount from Mars in an early October update. That was their answer. This request has been made by many players, and we ask that you wait a little longer for this issue to be addressed.
I'd love it for them to provide additional zoom
That's
out
all for our
levels.
Q&A today. Moving forward, we will continue to select and bring your questions and feedback to the development and operations teams and share their answers with you. Please share your thoughts and opinions about this program and the game using the hashtag NGS Headline on X and other social media. Moving on to the next segment.
NGS Satellite Information.
Now let's move on from updates and talk about some other NGS-related info. I'm sure it will get you even more hyped to play the game. Let's start with this. Volumes 9 and 10 of the PSO2 soundtrack are now available on streaming services, including Spotify and Apple Music. You're also free to use this music in TikTok videos. Volumes 1 through 8 are also currently streaming, so you can
Still
enjoy
no word
tunes
on
from
a
PSO2
comparison
on the
Sia
platform of your choice.
soundtrack.
Starting October 2nd, along with the release of new face options allowing for more anime-like characters, we'll also be holding the Character Creator Expression Limit Break Halloween Costume Party. You can use the salon to your heart's content and get Halloween-themed goodies from the reward box.
There is a lot of
It's
there's a
the
significant
perfect
lack
opportunity to
in
play around with the new
NGS
face options in the Character
merchandise
Creator.
in general.
Yep.
In the second half of the campaign period, we'll have more boosts and allow more completions for urgent quests. On October 16th, we will launch the Try It Out Armor Upgrade campaign. Just by logging in, you'll get the upgraded 10-star rarity Ictasis armor as a present. And if you upgrade your equipment, you will be reimbursed part of the enhancement cost, as well as receive a Duo Celio Almaty weapon camo. Now's your chance to try an equipment upgrade. We are pleased to announce a collab between NGS and Kotobukiya's popular original plastic model series, Frame Arms and Frame Arms Girl.
We had this last year too, didn't we?
Our collab this time
Yes.
will spotlight Durga Ayin.
The parts really kind of cast parts. There's your
In
cast
addition
parts.
to cast parts
Yeah.
and accessories, numerous collab items such as weapon camo, emotes, and build parts are in the works. Moreover, this round will also feature the Queen of Darkness, Durga Ayin, Darkness Queen version. We hope you're as excited as we are to have another collab with this popular series. Keep an eye out for more details. Now, allow me to reintroduce Frame Arms and Frame Arms Girl.
I do love the Kotobukiya model kits.
Frame Arms
They're a little
is an
bit more
original robot
touchy
plastic
than-
model series produced by
They're a little bit more
Kotobukiya.
touchy than the
By attaching
Bandai model
exterior
kits,
armor to the
but
core
generally
common
they
body,
are at
known
least at
as
the
the
second
frame
tier
archetype. You can
of
easily create various robot designs.
of Asian model kits.
Furthermore, You can create infinite variations by
Gotcha. I
rearranging
don't
the
know
core
much
common
about model
body
kits.
and exterior armor. Frame Arms Girl is a spin-off series featuring each Frame Arms unit as beautiful girls. With multiple 3mm diameter holes in various parts and PVC wrists, you can utilize a vast array of weapons from the MSG Weapon Unit series and the Frame Arms series weapons and exteriors. Both series offer high compatibility and expandability, allowing you to create your own unique units and characters. That's all for this episode of NGS Headline. This broadcast strives to make NGS even better by collecting audience input. Please share your thoughts and feedback on this program and
How
the
about a
game
player
using
survey?
Hashtag NGS Headline on X.
Go ahead.
Together, we can make NGS
It's almost
an even
insulting
more
that they say they're
fantastic
taking
game.
player input, but they're not.
As a
The
representative
questions
of the
they
user,
choose is
I will
obvious.
continue to
Is
work
obvious
with the
sign
development
that they're
team
not.
to make NGS a more enjoyable game for everyone.
But then
and I
again, the
look forward
players who
to
are
your
still
continued
playing
support.
aren't exactly the ones you need to listen to get the
next
game back
episode
on
of NGS
track.
Headline will be on Tuesday, October 29th. We'll be focusing mainly on the
Yep.
updates coming in November. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now then, ARKS, I'll see you at the next NGS Headline.
Thanks for watching here on Tuesday night. I'll see you on next NGS Headline. Bye-bye.
All right, so taking us back. And let me go ahead and check real quick just to see if there was anything on the Japanese side here. Not that I can really see. There's a web money thing, but it looks like that's about it. So, yeah, it was pretty much the same show on both sides here. I would say this one was at least a little bit better than last time, especially with the changes that they're making to the Mediola Outer Area 1.
I don't know if this was planned or a reaction to, or a possible reaction to the very negative reaction to last month.
I'm not sure either. You said you wanted to bring something up, so do you want to do that now?
Sure. So, okay. A while back, when we saw the roadmap, we both immediately got a gut instinct that something was wrong with it, with NGS. Something was off. It was 9 months instead of 6 months, which had not been the standard operation up to that point. So I think maybe it would be a good idea to explain why, at the very least, we are expecting something to happen at the end of this roadmap in a major way.
Yep, and I'm gonna try to bring that up. Keep going.
Okay, so at this point, well, okay, so let's just go over the issues NGS is facing right now, the real issues. So anyone who has been following the discourse over NGS right now has heard us talk about the Steam charts and how the NGS is basically barely three times above some of these dead games out there. Like, it's only the player count's only 3 times that of Suicide Squad killed Justice League. So, and then we also have other issues coming up. I have repeatedly seen players complain about issues with old ship matchmaking over on Japanese Twitter. That it's taking too long to make matches over there on old ship matchmaking for mini quests. And they have multiple ships over there.
Yeah, they have 10 ships compared to R4.
Hang on. Boy, we have people butting heads over in our Discord. Okay, so if they're having that kind of issue over there with all ship matchmaking, that's not a good sign of the player, of the health of the player, of the player counts over there either. Excuse me, just a second.
Yep. Yeah, so...
Sorry, I had to disable notifications.
Okay. Yeah, so as you can see in the image here, it goes from July until March. So there's the whole 9-month thing. And plus, when you look at this again, there's no story chapters whatsoever here. Yeah, it was... When this first released, we were very concerned that there was no story. And, you know, as of right now, you know, we're heading into October. There's nothing for story here. I don't count the release of that one scene where you unlock Mars as story. That's just unlocking a feature.
Very much. It's no more story than what we've been getting from Zandy so far. And that in itself is worrying. But also, what we also have to take into account is that we have so few maintenances anymore. Now, many people see that as a plus, and I understand that. But that means that they're doing significantly less work on what we're playing. And what I have been hearing from rumors is, we're actually not getting any, that a lot of what we are getting has been in the works. Well, has been in the works for a long time already. And I mean, we're like, it's been waiting, it's just sitting there. And
so like all the work that they did once to retool Chapter 5, you're thinking like this was in the game like since around that time?
Yeah. A lot of it has been just waiting. And then I've also heard there's a lot of stuff that I've heard rumors that stuff has been yanked out. And that there has been very little change to the game from game to game version. Even when we do get maintenances. And that's scary. Because that means they're not doing that much work with this. They're not doing that much. That means we're almost at maintenance mode here with this game.
Yeah, that's kind of a scary thought. That and if we look back to, you know, how things played out with Edola, players were only given like maybe 1 or 2 months worth of notice when that game went into discontinuation. and that happened like a month after the final chapter released.
So, I'm suspecting, unfortunately, that we are looking at a similar situation with NGS. And this is where I'm going to say we are looking at a coin flip here for NGS coming up in March. And here's the thing, if they are, so what I'm suspecting is at the end of March, when this last major urgent quest gets released, we're going to either get a notification of maintenance mode, end of service, or version 3, as Betsujen has just stated. And the main reason is the player count for this game has been, it's not, okay, so base PSO2, even at its low, over here in America and global, even at its lowest point, had a peak of 5,000 players. We aren't even getting, we're lucky if we creep over 1,400 in a month. And we might break that again, maybe, with this update, because there's actually stuff going on. But you gotta also realize that the last the update to I'm trying to remember the name. The update to one of the last Dark Falls Starless. I suspect that well, no, I'm not saying it was not. We did not see a bump at all in the player counts just upon its release. I was watching, and I was watching the Steam charts, and people try to discount the Steam charts, saying that it doesn't cover the entire player base. But I'm going to tell you right now, watching the entire industry, game consoles are in decline. Where getting a new game console was a big deal once upon a time, a lot of people, like over in Japan, the PlayStation 5 has been struggling to be adopted. There's a reason why NGS was released for the PlayStation, has a PlayStation 4 client, because everyone's still on the PlayStation 4. And my feeling is, well, what I've been actually told is that the console player counts make up for less than 50% of the player base, and Steam makes up for about 60. So so at most we may be dealing with a total player count across all ships on the global side of 3,000. That's not healthy for the game, and Sega knows that.
No, and it's reminding me of what ended up happening to the US EU PlayStation 2 PC version of Phantasy Star Universe, where those servers got shut down like a year or two before the Japanese servers closed, and we never got all the content that Japan got. I think Gas had only just come out at the time, and then the servers just shut down, unfortunately. It's a scary proposition, and we've been asking merge the ships. Well, like, how long is it going to be until we start saying merge the US or merge the global servers with the Japanese servers? And like, how would we even do that, considering the 4 and 10 ship split that exists? But more than that, there's some other stuff that we're going to be talking about today that may also help to back up this thought that we may be headed into maintenance mode, but we'll get to that soon enough. At this point, the big question is just going to be, what are we going to see when they put out the April roadmap? Like, is it actually going to be an announcement of end of service? Is it going to be an announcement of an episode 2 or a version 3 or something else like that? We really just don't know. But yeah, it's scary what's happening at this point to this game. I mean, even for me, I really haven't taken the game seriously in about 3 months at this point. I've been busy with the Dawn Trail release in Final Fantasy XIV. Most of that is finally over with now, aside from some other streams I'm going to be doing. But I mean, I just haven't felt like playing PSO2NGS at all over the past couple of months here. I may pop in for the Halloween event, but beyond that, I mean, I really don't know. I tried playing the quest with the Mars equipment being given to you right at the start, and I just felt nothing. Like, I couldn't believe it. So, like, it's so sad that this series that has meant so much to me for so long has fallen this far. And I can only hope that there's going to be something coming that's going to... I don't know. Even giving the series a break for a few years, I wouldn't mind that. So, we'll see what happens. What else do you want to say here, Rooks?
Well, I'm going to also mention two things. One thing that's going to explain, that's going to also demonstrate further how NGS is not doing well even in Japan. And that's merchandising. As you mentioned, Kavaris and Stia regions haven't had their soundtracks released, correct?
Correct. And even like the stuff post in Chapter 5 and beyond.
And you have to admit, NGS's soundtrack is pretty good despite everything. It may be a bit more generic than base PSO2, but it's still decent enough to listen to.
Yep.
Well, if then why hasn't there been a soundtrack release? Now, they may release one eventually, but that kind of says a lot about the condition of the game. And like, at the end of base PSO2, you had 2 model kits being sold by Kotobukiya. Actually, you had multiple model kits being sold from Kotobukiya for PSO2. One being Jean, and there were also the AIS Vega model kits. I have one, and the fact is, if merchandise is not being sold, there's not much of a demand over there in Japan right now. And I guess finally, because the player count is so low right now, Sega cannot supplement the free players on their, like they did in the past with ads in the game. I mean, over on the Japanese side, when we were playing, you remember seeing ads all the time for various stuff, and that helped support free players in the game, so that the game wouldn't have to be so they wouldn't have to be so they would not have to be so predatory with their AC scratches and such.
Yep. Now, I will say a couple of things here. One, there was the release of the NGS character songs. That was one album that did come out. But we're talking about the actual area soundtracks and the music associated with that. But the other thing, one thing that they did post on the official Discord recently and I'll bring this up here. They are at least doing sales of some PSO2 characters. Over here on the VCAT store, it looks like it's Matoy and Jinne. So, yeah, make of that what you will, but again, it's not NGS characters here.
Yes, base PSO2 is beloved. Base PSO2 is beloved, NGS is not. Same deal. And that's gotta hurt. Now, on the flip side, I am going to leave this on a note of hope here. If Sega is not working on, if Sega has basically got all this content set up and ready to go for this 9-month period, that means, and they are not planning to abandon this game, that means that they are working on a major version 3 update for this game. And we may see the NGS we always wanted, but that's being very, very optimistic right now. And I have a hard time being optimistic with how things have been up to this point.
Gotcha. And, okay, so apparently those listings have been up for, like, 3 years now? So, okay, that's unusual then that they would hype that up on the official Discord all of a sudden here. Well, also on their Twitter as well, so I don't know what to make of that then.
Okay, so I think I'm pretty much done. I think I'm done here. So,
okay.
Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think we've said what we need to say here. As much as I hate having to, consistently bring up this doomsaying and all that sort of stuff, it's I mean, I can't really see much happening that contradicts this, and that's the main problem with this here. If Sega was at least providing evidence that they were working on something with Division 3 here, then that would be a completely different story. But I mean, there really wasn't much shown in the 12-hour stream. We didn't see anything of NGS whatsoever at TGS. So what is going on here?
So yeah, on the flip side, there is some evidence that they may still be working on NGS and job listings for it that they still have up. But at the same time, those same job listings have been up for a while as well, meaning that they may not be able to get the developers they need.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Here's the one more bit of good news. Even if this game... Okay. The worst... I would say the worst situation this game could go into is maintenance mode. Because that means there would... Because that would basically lock it from basically Starlight coming out. But what could happen, but even if it does go into end of service, you know what the fans always do with Phantasy Star online games.
Yep, and that is that's definitely something that I'll be looking forward to when that time comes. But until we get the announcement about end of service, yeah, there's unlikely to be any movement.
And the reason why they won't say anything about end of service is because the moment they say the game's going to die, everyone's wallets close up.
Yep.
They are going to hold off on end of service talk until the very last moment, because it will kill all income for the game almost immediately.
Let's see what the announcement after release what the release of Vile is. That's when we're likely to hear that. All right, let's go ahead and move on from this. The one thing that we got a little bit before the the stream happened was the actual announcement for the server maintenance, and this is where they're going into all the different changes that are happening for Tector. So for shifted D-band and long-range shifted D-band, they've reduced the cooldown time at the start of quests. They've reduced the cooldown time for overemphasis, wand guard reflection. They relaxed the firing angle. Wand parry, they increased the potency and increased the movement speed and distance. And they're making adjustments so that the player does not move too close to enemies when attacking. For wand parry counter, they increased the potency and adjusted potency distribution rather. They also changed the specifications so that photonic fury is generated when the shockwave part hits the enemy rather than during the counter part. And they expanded the range of the shockwave and adjusted the photon point recovery amount. They've got a laundry list of stuff here for Wand Lover's Line Force, as well as even changes to Wand Technique Skip Beat and Wand Element Pursuit. All these changes are available on the official website if you want to read through the entire list here. There's also several adjustments to Wand as well, including its photon arts. And then for the tech art customization, they adjusted the potency distribution for Type 2. And then they've also made some changes to the Halvaldi enemy so that the weak point will now stay exposed when staggered while its core is open, as well as making adjustments to these certain body parts so that they no longer disappear when destroyed. They've also adjusted the boss camera controls for this as well, so players using the boss camera should be able to have a easier time with it now. They've also confirmed urgent quests will now occur once every 2 to 3 hours. I think there was a range of somewhere between 2 to 4 or maybe 2 to 5 hours previously. They changed the specifications for display settings related to event submission to reflect the music changes of the creative space or alliance space the player is in. And they adjusted the specifications of the item lab to allow scrolling on the potential implementation details window when unlocking potentials. Then we go into a bunch of the stuff that they already talked about during the show for character creation. Also the change to Genesis points when you get close to the tree, talking about the multi-weapon substitute. So a lot of this information was already covered in the stream. Here's for this here though, this they didn't mention this. They're adding the P.05 DeFi capsules if you need those for whatever reason to the Giga Strugment exchange. And then they talked about the preview of audio stamps. Here's another one. The in accordance with its PEGI rating change, which is now categorized as PEGI 18+ in the parental controls, and network functionality age restrictions in countries that use the PEGI rating system, so that'll be Europe. And then we got a laundry list of bug fixes for NGS related to Mars. And then even further bug fixes. Say again?
To be expected.
Yep.
You know, with new systems like this, it's kind of hard to tell what's going to break until you actually play in the hands of the players.
Yeah, definitely. And then I had one other queued up here. Yeah, regarding error number 621. So they actually talk about that in those patch notes. That they're fixing that as well here.
Well, there was a bug back in that they addressed in PSO2, where it says bugs to be fixed in PSO2. That was a major bug that was preventing people from actually getting. That was actually causing trouble for players who went back to base PSO2. Good thing that they didn't just leave it like that.
Yeah, I agree there. Okay. That's really all we had queued up for NGS this time. We're going to jump into the other stuff that we had here today, starting with this is kind of a string of developer updates that have happened for Sonic Roboblast 2 Infinity. So if you don't remember that, Sonic Roboblast 2 Infinity was this little mod that came out for Sonic Roboblast 2, which in of itself is based on the Doom engine. It released last year, and there's been development happening with it after that released, but there haven't been any patches ever since, because all this work is being done on effectively expanding the missions from where it ended at I believe it was 4X. They're working on the developer Lat is working on bringing it all the way up to 8X, and so over the past several months they've been posting screenshots of that work. Now, the writing that you're going to see on these is my own handwriting. It's just so that I could remember which one of these was each. But starting with this one, this is the basically the skeleton of what 5-2 is going to look like here. And then with... let me bring this up here. Here we go. So this is 5-2 here. And so... with as you can see, it's kind of a boxy area, and it's along with these little ring sections here, and players of PSO are going to find this looks fairly familiar because it's effectively the mines of PSO. Yeah, so that's an interesting idea that they decided to implement the mines as the next area here. Following that, then we get into the 6 series. This is an overhead of the 6-1 area. No pictures to go along with this, but as you can see, it looks like for some of these rooms, it's a pretty narrow path that you have to play on, particularly in these green rooms here. And then next, this is an animated GIF, and unfortunately, there's no way for me to reset it to the start here, so we're gonna pick it up wherever it is here. Oh, actually, this is right at the end. Perfect. Okay, so.
Wait, is that what? Did they include Vega?
So yeah, it's they're implementing an AIS function into it. So that's gonna be 6-2.
That's yes, you can. I'm not sure how much flexibility you have with what characters you can use, but you can use other Sonic characters already built for sure. But I think there may be also a possibility of adding new characters as well, because I don't think the characters and the classes are locked to each other.
Yeah, I believe it's Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Metal Sonic you can play as. There might be one or two more. I'm not entirely sure. That's just what I remember off the top of my head. But yeah, this is... so 6-2 is going to be apparently space battle themed. And then we get to 7-1, which this is basically happening out in space somewhere in some sort of a space station. I'll let this play through for a moment here. No enemies implemented in this here, but you can obviously you can infer where enemies would be showing up here. A bit more platforming than we saw previously, and then we finally get to 7-2, which is basically the moon. So yeah, and this apparently takes place. This is apparently taking place sometime after Robotnik destroyed half the moon. So make of that what you will. So yeah, and now they're working on what's supposedly going to be the final chapter, which is 8-X. So we'll see when this all comes out, but it's exciting to see that this project is still being worked on, and I'm looking forward to when this releases. That's for certain.
I'm going to have to take a closer look. Maybe at very least we can get together a group to play it.
It'd be, yeah, I mentioned previously if I was to continue with it, I would probably do it in the Discord, yeah. So, but nothing wrong with streaming that when the time comes, so we'll see. But yeah, that's what's happening with Sonic Roboblast 2 Infinity. I'm excited to see how this all shakes out in the end, but yeah. Let's move on to Clementine updates here. So, first off, several fixes were applied after the last update. They corrected the Dinazine Edge/U, being DA instead of range bonus. They corrected the Nagasan/U plus stats from being S rank to be similar to an A rank slicer. So no more freeze. They corrected the Evil Curse/U plus, having less technical points than Demonic Ichor/U plus. They match now, and corrected a handful of HP effects power/U plus weapons being missed in the buff that they got. And then, as for changes, there were adjustments to the Loot Pity mechanic, which will now focus more on rare items and reset less from junk. They added the Dark Meteor Shot /U plus to the Corrupted Ruler set bonus. HC can now sell on the player market, hardcore mode rather, can now sell on the player market in the absence of the rare drop rate boost. And you can now use /no EXP full to toggle on and off the EXP full floating indicator. Following that then, there was a progress update here regarding the new player experience, and they're working on the final adjustments for it. Basically with this, players will be able to participate in revised missions at the Guardian Central Hub, a lobby that'll contain missions condensed into 5 ranks, C, B, A, S, and U, with level requirements being level 1, 3, or 30 rather, 60, 90, and 120 respectively. C and B rank will have enemy levels that increase in a linear progression, level 1 to 70 for C rank, and then 80 to 160 for B rank. And then A and S rank will be like the current S3 and S4 difficulties with revised drops and drop rates. And then player and type stats have been adjusted to be better earlier into the game. Players will have 85% of their base stats at level 120. And players will also be able to start earning AP for gas at level 1 instead of having to wait until level 180. And then there were some new ultimate missions that will release alongside the new player experience. They also talk about a new ultimate barrier, which basically requires you to collect a whole bunch of stuff in order to put that thing together. It's a lot like Guardian Soul from PSO2. After that, then, they say that they'll be transitioning the PSU trade into a forum now, and the old channel had been renamed. And along with this, also, they now have a mission log channel for Clementine, for those that are time conscious of your runs. They've been testing this, but basically, what it is it effectively tells you how long it takes for a mission to complete. So, if you're one of those players that happens to go AFK for hours at a time, and then you complete a mission, that's going to show up in the log. Following that, so now they start to talk about the 4th Clemiversary, So the maintenance that they had back on the 27th kicked off the 6-week anniversary event, with the main attraction being weapon gift boxes. They'll drop per weapon type, example, sword gift box. Players will be able to find these gift boxes in Ultimate as area drops from any mission. The gift boxes can be opened at the recycle box in the Ultimate lobby, rewarding a random /U plus weapon from a small selection. Upon finding the gift boxes, there's a chance to get plus versions of them that'll have the weapons come out with a 3/10 grind. And then they don't have the new player experience update in place just quite yet with this update, but it is still coming. And now we get into the actual update notes here. So again, we've got the gift box drops here. There's also a super mag, whereby maximum attack G is being boosted to give an extra 50% experience, 100% mission points, enemy HP reduced to 75%, and updated drops. For equipment under weapons, customized weapons are no longer account bound, and they corrected the King of Blood /U plus to be HP Steel Claws. Attack points were reduced by 100, and HP Steel level 3 added. And then you have the Hunter, Ranger, Force, and Heavenly Barriers added to the game. All 4 of those you need in order to put together the Ultimate Barrier. And then they added Ultimate Force, Ultimate Mind, and Ultimate Chronos. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can now recycle for a shield merger. And then a whole bunch... Okay, actually, they repeated this for some reason here. They built up... for a drop pity, they increased the amount of rare drop rate built up on the drop pity. And then a number of missions have had their rolls increased for the clear box. And they added additional materials to more missions. And then for balance adjustments, they increased the power of Nanoblast by 25% across the board. They increased the power of Invincible Nanoblast to be the same power as Red Nanoblast before the buffs. And then they reduced the target count to 3 and duration to 35 seconds. They did increase the player base stats at lower levels, unchanged at max level. They also increased the type stats at lower type levels, unchanged at max level. They've also reduced, or rather they removed the catch-up EXP and adjusted the enemy EXP again. Enemy EXP should feel better at later levels now, and a bit slower at earlier levels. For gas, AEXP, as mentioned before, can now be earned at level 1 instead of 180, and they reduced the amount of EXP required to 300k EXP from 500k EXP. They also replaced the gold weapon badge shop with the black market dealer. He can be found at Gowick's Pub once the player reaches level 90. They also fixed the hit angle on Dust Roboto to be 360 instead of 356 degrees. Curious that it was missing 4 degrees there. And they fixed Rising Crush still having blow away on Combo 3. And that does it for Clementine updates. So if you have a Clementine account, I mean, go ahead and hop into the event if you have access to Ultimate there. Or if you just want to start gaining some AEXP, that's available to you now as well. Alright, let's move on to the last topic for today, and this is kind of the quote-unquote other hope that we have for Phantasy Star here. But there's another possibility that could be in play here. So, and first I have to give credit to Arwen for finding this information. Because I wasn't looking for this at all here. But, as some of you may know, before PSO2 was worked on, the Phantasy Star series was being handled by Sonic Team. And Sonic Team is in the second business division of Sega. Now, recently, there have been a number of job postings that have been going up on the Japanese side for the second business division. And this is where things kind of get interesting here. So, right here, we have a job posting for an illustration concept art. And part of the duties of this, or rather one of the requirements of this, is having practical experience in humanoid, non-humanoid, and mechanical design. And then the ability to design from scratch regardless of whether it is realistic or deformed. And then also, welcome skills include the ability to handle, they already talked about realistic and deformed, but then strong with mecha and man-made objects, and strong with military. Then we get into go ahead.
Well, I think you're coming to it anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah. So next, we have a job for a director-producer in the second business division. And part of this here is that they are looking for somebody to be responsible for the core game design and overall promotion of the project in order to launch a new Sega Legendary title.
Now, as Arwen explained, legendary titles basically means old Sega IPs that may have been very successful in the past, but are possibly dormant or something else.
Yep. And something else to keep in mind is that when it comes to games at Sega, the IP is basically goes to the director of the game, if I remember correctly, and it's not just shared within Sega Global throughout the company. And that's part of the reason why when there was that PSO event that happened for PSO2 before New Genesis came out, that's why they weren't able to update the areas, or rather, update the PSO areas and bring those into PSO2.
Basically, the directors / producers often share the IP ownership with Sega. I think Sega still has controlling share of the IP, but there's enough of ownership in the directors that worked on it that they can't just be willy-nilly with stuff.
Yeah. It's like you need to request permission to use other asset or games within the company, even if they're considered publicly to be the same IP. Moving on from that, then we have a business producer strategic planning position, whereby for this, they're looking for people with knowledge of the Sega brand and IP who can plan and execute strategies for expansion and growth in the global market. And they're looking for someone with an understanding and loyalty to the Sega brand IP. So, and then there's one other position here where they're looking for a business analyst, or a data analyst rather, where basically they're looking, the way that this reads is they're looking to effectively get information regarding the player base and figure out how to implement that for future revisions, effectively a live service game. So you put all that together, and there was one other thing here. Where did it go? I gotta find it again. Where was this? This was the important part. Here it is. So, experience in ARK production direction of RPG titles. So, you put all this together, along with the second division of Sega, which includes Sonic Team. And you put together the idea of it being a live service game. And you consider that Sonic Team worked on PSO and PSU. Oh boy! Now, there is something that this could also be. So, it wasn't that long ago, back in July, Eurogamer had an interview with Takashi Iizuka. And basically, he said he would love to make a Sonic RPG before he retired from Sega, though that's just a dream. So, it's possible that this project could simply be that maybe somebody up at the head of Sega Sammy heard about this idea and they approved it, like, really fast here. But if not, RPG, live service, military, humanoid, non-humanoid, and mechanical beings? That's really starting to sound like Phantasy Star there. Okay, if you're saying that they wouldn't put it as legendary, then that's even more in that direction. I understand this is real conspiracy stuff here that I'm talking about, but yeah, this is like even Eurogamer here is saying Fantasy Hog Online here, or it could just be the reason it seems like New Genesis may be going maintenance mode or end of service is to make room for whatever this project is going to be.
Now, there is a few caveats to this. One, if there is... First off, Sonic Team is Business Division 2 is working on their own engine, a new version of their engines. And they are hiring for that too. So even if they are working on the next Phantasy Star title, it's not going to probably be ready for at least 4 years, meaning that NGS is going to have to wait around at the very least. Or that's why I was feeling that we might be looking at a maintenance mode coming up here.
Yep, and Arwen just forwarded me a link here where they talk about the new engine here. Along with Sega Legendary. Thank you, Arwen. Trying to see where that is here. Yeah, here it is. So, yes, we're actually in the middle of developing our own game engine, and we're currently rebuilding the software for it based on a suggestion from one of our members. We're constantly listening to input from our newer members as we try to build our ideal engine. Yeah, so, and then, Legendary, yeah, another one of our objectives involves our Legendary IPs. We aim to bring back some fan favorites from the past. We're utilizing our knowledge and experience of turning Sonic into a worldwide sensation to create the next big thing. So, yeah. In all honesty, given that these are still job postings here, we're likely not going to hear anything about whatever this is going to be outside of this for the next 2 to 3 years. At a minimum, I would say. And 4 or 5 years is probably going to be more likely if this is going to be a live service game like that.
So in all honesty, NGS may be have a chance at sticking around for a little bit longer.
Possibly. Or they could Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I think...
It is also possible they could put the series into hibernation. This would not be the first time that happened. If you think about the gap that happened between Phantasy Star at the end of the millennium and when PSO came out, the only thing that really happened between that time was the release of the 8 text adventure games on Sega CD as part of collections, and then you had Phantasy Star Collection on the Sega Saturn. But that was it. So there was a good amount of hibernation there.
True, and it was also long enough for Yuji Naka to actually forget that Phantasy Star was a thing.
Yep. So we'll see what comes of this. Again, this is like really early. Nothing is promised here. For all we know, they could start development, and then something happens, and we never hear of this project again. But still, it's exciting to know that the team that, that it could be potentially Sonic Team working on another Phantasy Star again here.
Now, I'm going also, once again, a little caveat. This isn't the same Sonic Team that produced the original Phantasy Star Online. This is a newer one. This is basically the new team that had to be reassembled after Yuji Naka kind of completely destroyed it on the way to Sonic 06. And right before he left. So we're not dealing with exactly the same team. But they have also greatly improved from that period too as well.
Yep. And we don't even know what this project could even be. It's possible, rather than it being a brand new Phantasy Star, maybe it's going to be an HD remake of PSO or something to that effect.
Even the possibly HD remake of the original Phantasy Star titles.
That as well. I mean, in all honesty, I thought for a while that they could have actually done the original Phantasy Star in the NGS engine of all things, given the different zones that you can cross into without any problems. But I mean, I'm more than willing to given that we never got a remake of Generations of Doom or the End of the Millennium, I'd love to see that as well. But yeah, it's gonna be a long time before we really hear anything about what they're cooking up here. But this is at least exciting news if this actually does come to full fruition here.
No, maybe we should consider wrapping up here, though.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had here for today. Was there anything else you wanted to add here today, Rooks?
Nope, you let me get in earlier, so.
Yep. And yeah, I agree. It likely isn't Sakura Wars, since that really didn't have anything. Sakura Wars doesn't have much in terms of non-humanoids in there, so. But alright, so that brings us to the end of this episode. On behalf of Rooks and myself, thank you for joining us today. Day has dawned. Have a great day, everyone.
See ya later.